some new tea, a new location, and a new part of the Lycian Way story. In this series, I'm talking about my experience of hiking the Lycian Way. If you haven't seen the first episode, check out that one first, because otherwise you're not gonna follow the story. Link is in the description, but let's start. I continue pick up the story when I was hiking the Lycian Way already for 8 days. I found myself on Patara Beach. And here I was following this alternative road that I made myself. It was going parallel to the Lycian Way. But after 5 kilometers I already ran into a problem. I needed to cross this river, but it was way too strong to swim to the other side with a backpack. You can imagine that I was a bit stuck there for a moment. And after some thinking, I started asking around. There were some people there. And I was so lucky to find somebody with a surfing board. We arranged something to put my backpack onto the surfing board and push it while I swam across. Wow, he was a hero, because without him I did not know how I could cross the river. I was so happy, I was so pumped to continue these other 5 kilometers of the Patara Beach. Patara Beach is 10 kilometers long and the middle is one big river. I really enjoyed hiking this Patara Beach. I cannot imagine doing Lycian Way and miss this out because there was no bridge. Here on Patara Beach, there are so beautiful dunes everywhere and they were so big. Felt that I was in the middle of a desert next to a sea. I really enjoyed hiking this Patara Beach. At the end of the Patara Beach, I need to climb over this mountain to come back at the Lycian Way. And I found this path leading up the mountain. But slowly, the path became smaller and smaller and smaller. This path was not maintained and not even used anymore. But at a certain point, the path just disappeared. Did I lost the path? Or there was no path anymore? I don't know at this point anymore. Now I was pushing through the bushes and just climbing over rocks. This was not really safe. To climb these rocks with a heavy backpack is pretty difficult. And then I fell. I had a big scar on my arm. I was wounded. Now I was bleeding, but still I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to turn around. I still continued pushing myself through the bushes and climbing these rocks. This wound looked better on camera than it really was. In real life it started to swell up. The biggest problem with this, I didn't have any medical treatment with me. I didn't have any bandages or any disinfectant with me. So I needed to find some house that could treat me. But first of all, I need to find the path again. I got lost roughly about here on the mountain. And then I found the path again roughly around here. I've never been so happy to be in the middle of nowhere on a path. But I still needed medical attention. After a quick map check, I saw that the closest house was 3 kilometers away from me. The sun was going down, so without further ado, I just went towards the house. Once I was there, I found the most beautiful people ever. They helped me not only with medical treatment, but they gave me also food and water. And that was a real saver for me, because I was broken down. But here is a part in the story that I don't really know how to tell on YouTube. But maybe I will tell the story in another time. The weather was becoming so hot. On certain points I was hiking without any shadow in 43 degrees. I was melting and still pushing myself from a small piece of shadow to another small piece of shadow. On days like this I could consume 5 liters of water. I was sweating like a fish. I came closer to Kash. Kash. I was so excited to reach Kash because I had some good friends there. There was only one obstacle left that I need to cross until I reach Kash. It was this mountain climb of 1,200 meters. I really enjoyed hiking this mountain, the views were amazing. I was so happy to reach Kash, because Kash is a small but beautiful city. I had some friends here.
Sunshade,
Cool in the
enjoy.
shade.
Shady!
Cool rocks.
And they allowed me to stay in their bungalow. Finally, some time for some rest. Finally, sleeping in a bed. After sleeping for 12 days on the ground, you can really enjoy a bed. Like I told you, it is day 12 of Lycian Way, but I only hiked 9 days of these 12. I did 200 kilometers from Fethiye to Kash, and this makes an average of 22 kilometers a day. I still had 300 kilometers to go. I was still not halfway there, and I had already spent 12 days on the road. My legs were pretty okay, but my feet started to go downhill from this point on. I learned something really important hiking already these 12 days, mountain up and mountain down. Yes, this is a really physical challenge, but I came to the conclusion that it's more a mental challenge than a physical one. Although you're hiking 20 kilometers a day, sweating really hard, still I believe it's more a mental challenge than a physical one. I found out that a bad way of thinking could hold me down more than a heavy backpack. Bad thoughts can make you feel weak. Bad thoughts can make you feel tired. Bad thoughts can make you feel hurt. And all these can make you so exhausted that you cannot continue hiking anymore. You lose all your energy to your feelings and your thoughts. So slowly I developed my own breathing methods for this hike. With every new thought that came in, I asked myself, is this important now? Do I need to think about this now? And if the answer was no, then I just swiped it away. I stopped thinking about it. I stopped worrying about it. Day by day it became better and came to the conclusion that 90% of the things that I was thinking were not relevant. With continuing this breathing method, at a certain point my brain just stopped pushing all these thoughts into me. From that moment on, it became more peaceful to hike the Lycian Way. And the biggest advantage of this all, I had way more energy to continue the Lycian Way. My biggest tip to you, if something seems impossible or really hard, just start concentrating on your breath and listening to your mind. After 2 days in Kash, after some chilling on the beach with my friends, my arm was healed a bit, my feet were healed a bit, so it was time for me to move on. My next step was to this beach without a name and also without respect. This beach was completely filled with plastic and garbage. So I want to sleep on this beach, but it's really dirty like you see. And I don't know how, but I'm in the middle of nowhere. This trash just washes on from some other place, and that's so sad that somebody far away can just trash a beautiful beach like this, and that's makes me sad. And even if you fill the trash bag full with trash, then it's still impossible to hike with this heavy trash bag and a heavy backpack for 2 hours straight to the closest house to put it away. Only if you have a boat, it's possible to take out all the trash. If somebody has a boat and wants to do this, please let me know. I want to help. Some great tea for a great story, huh? Now it was day 19 for me into the Lycian Way. And I found myself in Demre. And here in Demre you had two options to continue to hike. Or you walk 30 kilometers next to the highway, that would be very stupid to do. Or you climb this mountain of 1800 meters where you cannot refill your bottle, and it's 60 kilometers to the next city, Fethiye. That means that you need to hike this mountain and take all the water with you need for 60 kilometers of mountain. Water is heavy. It's the heaviest thing I have in my backpack. With all this said, I think this is the hardest part of the Lycian Way. And I was just starting this. The news came to me that the lockdown in Turkey was over. That I could go back to my van and take it to the east of Turkey. And I was already tired and broken and wounded. I didn't feel like doing the most difficult part now anymore. So I told myself on day 19 in the evening that I'm gonna stop the Lycian Way. And then the next morning I woke up with so much energy, with so much strength that I could not give up on the most difficult part. I was already past the half the Lycian Way. I cannot give up now. It's now or never. And that's with everything in life. You cannot give up if something hard comes into your life. Just sleep one more night and then the next morning just go for it. Do you want to know how I crossed this mountain of 1800 meters high and 60 kilometers long without water refill? And do you really want to know if I make it until the end of the Lycian Way? Then watch my third and last episode of the Lycian Way, coming soon. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making this video. These Lycian Way videos, they take a lot of time. So if you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and give a comment with some crazy idea or some tips or whatever. Just put everything in the comments. But for now, I hope you will always see the light of stars, follow your dreams, and see you in the next and last episode. Ciao! I'm on a boat. Let's continue.